Mark Taylor. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me, guys. It's always an honor to be on the show.
We love having you, Mark. I'll tell you what, we always have sparks flying, when we
We normally got more than sparks flying. We seem to get one another in trouble sometimes, but that's all right.
I know it's all right. Hey, we're just speaking the truth, and that's
That's
what
right.
it's all about. The truth will make you free. Praise God. And sometimes the truth hurts, doesn't it, Mark?
Yep, absolutely. Truth can be painful sometimes. It can get ugly. It can get messy. It's kind of like justice. If you don't have a stomach for it, you better get it quick because this is all about the truth right now.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, speak about truth. What's not being portrayed as truth is this whole impeachment deal with President Trump, which is so unconstitutional. They keep on targeting this January 6th event and blaming this whole Capitol deal on President Trump. I mean, we were there.
Right.
And I mean, what he said was, let's walk peacefully over to the Capitol. He did not say, hey, let's, show them who we are and this and that. That's not him,
No.
So I mean, this is crazy. I mean, so what are you hearing right now in regards to, or what are your thoughts about this whole impeachment deal?
Well, I mean, is it really, to me, is something bigger at stake here, like there always is? You know what I mean? Is this really setting the stage for something bigger? I mean, I think it is. I wanted to see Trump go in there myself and testify because I want to see him obliterate these guys, but that's not going to happen. So, I think it would have been some of the most watched television in history, to be honest with you. But the ratings would have been through the roof, So, I mean, is it setting the stage for something else? Because we all know that our friend there, okay, right here, has said that, set the stage, so to speak. And we really don't know really what's fixing to happen. I mean, are they going to bring some proof out? We have that coming online. I think they're doing it as we speak right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't watched any of it, but I mean, the other thing is you've also got February 19th coming up, which is Sidney Powell going before the Supreme Court. What's going to happen there, I do not know. As the way things have been going, I don't expect a whole lot from the Supreme Court. Maybe it happens. Maybe they come back and say, hey, this was an illegitimate election. It's a redo or whatever. I don't know, or they give it to Trump. I have no clue. Who knows what's going to happen at this point? But I do know that it's an opportunity for the truth to come out, and it's all about the truth right now. So our friend there, again, right over there, has said that the military is going to be the only way. I don't know. So we're going to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Military is the only way, but I really believe too, Mark, that we the people have to get involved.
Yes.
We've been so complacent, sitting on our backsides, not doing anything, and trusting the government, which we should have never done, especially the church, and not getting out there, getting into those positions ourselves.
Right.
My gosh. So yeah, I think it's been this whole 4 years has been a tremendous wake up to so many people, and there's still, unfortunately, some that are not awoke yet.
Right. And this is going to be the whole thing, I think, with some of this, whether it's the impeachment, whether it's the Supreme Court. Now, do we get to see the Supreme Court stuff or not on TV? I have no clue. I don't think they televise that stuff, do they? As far as I know, I don't think they're going to probably allow any cameras in there. We're probably just going to get reports coming out of the courtroom, or I guess at times. I have no clue how that's going to work. But I think a lot of this is just going to be, do they go into the Supreme Court, kind of like this impeachment thing? We see it's a sham. Do they go into the Supreme Court, and does the Supreme Court say, well, we've seen all the evidence, it was a fraudulent election, however, we're not going to reinstate Trump or whatever, or are they going to call it? And are we going to be able to see how corrupt the Supreme Court is? That's the part I don't know. And then at that point, I would have to say, well, the military is the only way at that point, because everything's pretty much been exhausted. Now, look at the audit they were doing in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Colonel Waldron was supposed to be leading the audit out there, from what I understand. And they threatened to arrest the board of supervisors out there, if they didn't comply with the subpoena. Well, they still didn't comply. So, and they said they weren't going to arrest them. See,
Right.
this is part of the problem right here, is nobody gets held accountable, and they know they can get away with it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different levels here. I think people are waking up on, because people are seeing how bad it truly is at the federal level. But see, what nobody ever paid attention to was at the state and local level. And now they're seeing the tyrannical governments at the state and local level. I mean, look at this Democratic mayor down here at the Super Bowl, Tampa, down here in Tampa.
Right.
Said that the police were going to act and find those who weren't wearing a mask, but yet there she is with a picture in the stands not wearing a mask.
Exactly.
See, it's do as I say, not do as I do with these guys.
Exactly.
So people are learning. Even here in Florida, you still have people who are some counties that are wanting masks, people with mandatory masks or whatever it is. And if I'm not mistaken, Tampa's probably one of them. And so it's the bigger cities, it's the Democrat cities, even though that we got a great governor, Governor DeSantis,
Yes.
that is still tyrannical. But people are learning at the state and federal level just how tyrannical it truly is and how deep the corruption goes. And unfortunately, we still have people out there who are not awake that are going to have to live this out so that we don't repeat this process ever again. And it could get painful before then. I don't know how long. That's the $1 million question right there. How long do they let the show go on before they pull the trigger?
Right.
Now, there's some people out there that said they've already pulled the trigger. We're seeing some body doubles and we're seeing this, that, and the other. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I really don't. Nobody can confirm any of that stuff. But I do know that we are watching a show. We've got too many signs out there. When we've had the White House, nobody's in the White House. The White House was going dark at 11 o'clock every night. There's video of it. We got the press conferences of whatever her name is, Seki, whatever her name is, giving press conferences. Where's Jim Acosta?
Yeah.
Anybody seen Jim Acosta? Anybody seen OAN?
Right.
She's got an answer for nothing. I'm going to have to circle back to that.
Right.
So it's almost she's either not meeting with Biden or she's a very good actress.
Right.
You know what I mean? And playing a role here because nobody's at the White House giving briefings because she doesn't have an answer for anything. You had at the inauguration, Biden was never flown in on a government jet. He was flown in on a private jet, which has never been done in history. You had the nuclear football. Trump took the nuclear football, which was never been done in history. So we've got all these different things. And then Biden, the other day, they saw him, was it on Air Force 2 or something like that? He was on Air Force 1.
Right.
Which means he's not the sitting president.
Right.
So, I don't know. There's just too many things that don't add up. And I think that everyone's catching on that something's wrong somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, how long do you let this go on?
Right.
And you know what I mean? Even the other countries know, okay, something ain't right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So how long do you let this go on before you pull the trigger and disclose to the people, oh, by the way, we just arrested a ton of them here in D.C. This is why D.C. is actually a prison now. That is the new Gitmo. I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, even the 21, what was it? Gun salute or cannon salute or whatever.
Yeah.
And they only had 3 and it was in a graveyard. I mean, for me, that was so
right.
prophetic. You're tanking, dude.
And they have a 3-gun salute for a foreign leader.
Right.
So
right.
maybe that's what he's saying. DC. He's the leader of the corporation.
He's
Right.
the leader of the corporation, which we all know. We think that Trump has taken down. In which case, he's not the president. He's the CEO of the corporation, which is bankrupt
Right.
and defunct. So I don't know. We're going to find out at some point. But again, that's the $1 million question. Nobody knows. When do they pull the trigger? Now, look, you still got General Flynn out there. Just did an interview. Was talking about the wine thing, the wine bet or whatever. He said I wouldn't what does they concede that bottle of wine or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't concede that bottle of wine. So again, you've got a lot of people out there saying this thing's not over with, guys. There's something out there brewing that we don't know when it's going to take place. But I'm getting called every name in the book. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah.
By people calling me this, calling me that. You said Trump's going to get a second term. It's like, people relax. This is not over with.
You know why though, Mark? Is because they go by what they see.
What they see.
Yeah.
By the idiot box.
Yeah, right. By the box. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you saw the General Flynn interview this morning or heard the one this morning.
No, I did not.
But he said, they asked him, what can you do? He said, you need to get involved
Mhm.
at your local government. He goes, never use, they got to do election reform where there's paper ballots, not electronics, because they're going to switch that every time. And he said, what about President Trump? Do you believe in the impeachment and so forth? He goes, well, he'll come out on top, but he said it would have been better if he had used Sidney Powell. He said, I don't know why he didn't use Sidney Powell.
Yeah, this attorney.
Yeah.
And we know that he can only give out so much without giving
Right.
out the whole plan. I mean, that's
Right.
military protocol. And that's what everything that we're seeing out there, Mark. I mean, there's so much information, but disinformation and misinformation. And it's like that move and counter move, chess move, to where, okay, give them a little bit, but then, show them something else that is not even relatable. But we have to keep our eyes focused on the Father. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think too many people are operating out of fear right now.
Yes.
When you've got people that are looking with their natural eyes, like you said a second ago, and that's what they're basing their judgments on right now. And they are judgments, period. We've got people out there writing articles, slamming the prophetic. It's amazing now that every prophecy that comes out has to do with Trump has now been labeled the Trump prophecies.
Right.
You know what I mean? which is zeroed in at me, and that's fine. And so everybody that prophesied Trump a second term, congratulations, you've been lumped into the Trump prophecies. Yeah, there you go.